Hello and a very warm welcome from Flex Global as we are about to show you our PhlexSubmission solution that is tailored to meet your needs. My name is Markus Winter and I'll be talking to you about PhlexSubmission and then showing you how you can quickly and easily compile an eCTD submission using the solution. But before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit about our regulatory operations platform. PhlexSubmission is one of the modules within this platform, which is really tailored to meet your needs. In this platform, we have core capabilities that do things such as manage tasks, email notifications, and support electronic signature. Our sharing portal allows external content sharing with your partners and other organizations with whom you're working. FlexIDMP helps to manage xEVMPD, IDMP, and other data standards in a detailed fashion. FlexDMS is our regulatory document management system that is seamlessly integrated with PhlexSubmission. PhlexSubmission will be the focus of today's demonstration, and we will go into that in a little bit more detail. I'd like to also mention that FlexRIM is a solution that is for regulatory information management, and that module helps to track all of your regulatory activities, events, and plans. Let's first talk more about PhlexSubmission that comes in a combination with the document management system FlexDMS. In PhlexSubmission, you can rely upon our basic features that will always allow you to create your eCTD submissions, manage the life cycle, import submissions that you have from perhaps in the past, and it's always compliant with the latest ICH guidelines. There is a number of time savers built into PhlexSubmission, such as automatic eCTD tree creation. You don't have to know which folders to create. We create them for you. You can also have the system automatically check for new versions of documents for your eCTD life cycles going forward. And there is a built-in eCTD compliance checker along with our integrated document management system. From a global perspective, you can manage your eCTDs anywhere in the world for every health authority in the world. Multiple users can work in parallel. You can view your submissions in a number of different ways and share your submissions via the sharing portal. It's also easy to reuse your eCTDs across your organization and across different regions. And as I mentioned earlier, PhlexSubmission includes Vera, our online eCTD guide, along with auto compilation capabilities, built-in PDF and OCR rendition engines. Vera, as I mentioned, is our virtual electronic regulatory assistant. Vera can help guide first-time users through each step in the software or help experienced users remember how to do something that maybe they haven't done in a while. It guides them through each step and helps them learning by doing. So let's log in and see how this looks like. As you can see, you are presented with your user dashboard, which you can personalize and decide which of these widgets you would like to have displayed with information that's important to you. All of the modules I mentioned to you that you have licensed are listed down here on the left-hand side, and this is how you access those particular functional areas. In this case, your regulatory document management system and the submission management system. Vera, as I mentioned before, is always ready to help, and you can click on Vera anytime you need help getting started with something. And we'll do that now, and I'll show you how Vera will step me through creating a new product in FlexDMS. You can see that Vera is taking me exactly to the place I need to go. This is not a simulation. And now Vera is telling me how I go creating a product. And in this window, it tells me exactly what I need to do so that I can create the product. I'm going to step out of this now because I've already created a product for this. And now I'll show you the pre-created product, my demo product. And what's important to understand here is that with your product, you actually set a number of attributes or metadata about that product. So we define substances, substance manufacturers, dosage forms, product manufacturers, excipients, and so on. This will help drive your submission tree when it's created, when we get into PhlexSubmission. But what I would like to point out here is that in FlexDMF, you have all the abilities of a Part 11 compliant document management solution that allows you to also review and approve documents. We'll be using the demo product today. And I've already loaded a few documents in there. Here I have organized them for my personal preference by module. So if I switch to the module 1 folder, you can create documents, you can upload existing documents, and with the options menu here on the right side, you are able to, for example, start a review workflow. You can convert documents into PDFs if they are coming in a different format. And if you receive documents that are already in PDF format, you can handle these documents. For example, if you want to split or to merge documents, you can do so. Or there are a couple of other PDF file manipulations here. And this all can be done within FlexDMS. Now we'll go into the submission management, which is where we actually get into creating the eCTD. I'll click on My Submissions, and this will take me to my work area that shows all of my submissions that are being worked on right now. And you can see I have a few already started, but I'll create a new one. I'll use the Create button to create a new submission. We will give the submission a name, for example, Demo Product 333444, and it's an NDA submission. We will connect or relate this submission with the product we just looked at called Demo Product. And to let FlexSubmission choose the correct eCTD template, we select the region here, United States. I always have a target date here that I can use to help me keep track of when the submission is expected to be completed, and then I can actually keep track of that. So selecting here a date. So we'll create a submission now, and what's happening is it's taking that product information and it has created my submission right here. So it's created this demo product 333444 NDA, and I click on this, and you'll see that all of the folders have been automatically created for me based on that metadata. So if I close, for example, this module 1 folder, you can see here we have a product that is for injection, and this specific folder name was automatically created for me. And here is the substance, FlexSubstance, and the substance manufacturer. These folders have all been automatically created for me. My documents that I showed you a moment ago are in the RDMS, and you can see that they are all here ready for me to use in the submission. But for a few of them, I've actually put the metadata on them that would help me do an auto compilation. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll click on auto compile. And what it's doing now is Vera is looking through those documents and looking at the submissions tree and matching up the documents that need to go into certain folders based on that metadata. And now you can see here that I have, for example, the 356H new NDA document automatically assigned. If I scroll down a little bit, I would see here that my draft labeling text is automatically assigned. And if I collapse here module 2, then there's one document in module 3 that automatically shows up because I defined the correct metadata. So we see here the 32P1 description composition of drug product automatically showing up. Now, if I don't use autocompile, I can still use drag and drop to move documents from the RDMS right into the submission tree. So you can see here, I still have a cover letter to assign. I just simply click on it and drop it to the folders. And I'll do that for the rest of these documents. Next, I will assign a couple of documents to module 2. So here we have the drug substance, goes to the drug substance folder. And I have a 263 document to put right there. In module 3, I have some stability data, so I'll put the 32S73 down here in the stability folder. And this will get us to module 4. Now we'll go into the submission management, which is where we actually get into creating the eCTD. I'll click on My Submissions, and this will take me to my work area that shows all of my submissions that are being worked on right now. And you can see I have a few already started, but I'll create a new one. I'll use the Create button to create a new submission. We will give the submission a name, for example, Demo Product 333444, and it's an NDA submission. We will connect or relate this submission with the product we just looked at called Demo Product. And to let PhlexSubmission choose the correct eCTD template, we select the region here, United States. I always have a target date here that I can use to help me keep track of when the submission is expected to be completed, and then I can actually keep track of that. So selecting here a date. So we'll create a submission now, and what's happening is it's taking that product information and it has created my submission right here. So it's created this Demo Product 333444 NDA, and I click on this, and you'll see that all of the folders have been automatically created for me based on that metadata. So if I close, for example, this module 1 folder, you can see here we have a product that is for injection, and this specific folder name was automatically created for me. And here is the substance, PhlexSubstance, and the substance manufacturer. These folders have all been automatically created for me. It's important to understand that what you are able to do here is save this submission in its current state, do a test publish of it, and run a validation against the published output. Then make any necessary changes, and then do another incremental publish. But before we do that, I'm going to take some of these documents and I'm going to actually add some hyperlinks, and that's also built in. So for the sake of this demo, we'll just right mouse click on this document and select Edit Hyperlinks. You'll see it opens this document in a new tab. Here is the document, and I'll just pick some text, maybe safety pharmacology. That then will turn into a hyperlink, and you can tell that I don't need any add-on tools on my desktop to do this. So I'll just select this text here, and I will select a target, maybe the 5351 study. And if I want to select a specific page on this document, on this target document, I could go here and, for example, go to a certain page and tell the system to set this target to this page. So that will now go on to page 15. And then I can create this hyperlink. And then in a moment, you will see that the document now has a hyperlink added to it. I can also edit these hyperlinks. So this is now an existing hyperlink that I could edit, or I can remove hyperlinks that I don't want to have in this submission. We'll close now this tab, and then the next thing I want to do is check the compliance of my submission. So if we assume that I've put in my hyperlinks and it's ready to be published, first thing I'm going to do is check that I don't have any hyperlinks in the document that shouldn't be there. And this would be if there was a hyperlink to an external site, which we know would fail the compliance check at the receiving agency. But you can see here, when I run this check hyperlinks tool, that there is only one hyperlink in my whole submission, and the hyperlink seems to be valid. Everything is good to go. If I did have a correction, I could click on this little pencil. It would open up that document again, and I could reset that hyperlink. Next thing I would do is check the compliance of the PDF files of the submission, and that's going to run through all of the documents and tell me if there's any problems with them. Now, here you can see messages saying that fast web view is not enabled, or the bookmark has no inherent zoom set. Now, if any of these issues were things I needed to resolve manually, I would have that pencil icon again. But you can see here that a resolution of the problem is indicated. It's automatic, which means that we will automatically fix this during the publishing process. So everything here looks good, and I'll go into a test publish, which is my incremental publishing capabilities. So I go into test publishing, and what it will do is, after filling out here some more information about the application that I am planning to submit in the US, it will create the eCTD, it will stamp draft against all of the PDFs that it is creating, but I can also then run this through the eCTD validator from the FDA. So I will fill in some information here about company, applicant, my application number. I need some description, text here, submission subtype, which would be application, and then information about some people in the organization with their contact details. And I'm selecting here, for example, a promotion manager at the end with their telephone number and an email address, and hit on publish. And this publish, I can watch if I click again here on the hyperlink. It's done in the background, and you see here a couple of information displayed that tells me about the publishing process, and I can click on refresh a couple of times till this is done. As soon as the messages are gone, the publishing is completed, and I can watch my published output in test submissions. And what you can see here, here's a new line with the demo product, and with the validate hyperlink here on the right side, I can run a validation on the submission. This is done in the background by the Lawrence validator, and it will show me all the findings about any problems within the submission after a couple of seconds. As well, I can click here on the left side on the link of the demo product, which will then download me a zip file with the published submission. And I can open this zip file here and extract it. And it will allow me to then, for example, navigate the submission here via the index.xml file. You see everything was created within the eCTD, and you would be able to, for example, access the different files in the submission via the hyperlink here. And you see that there's a test submission stamped on each of these documents. And now let's have a look how the validation went. So if I refresh here the screen, you see that the validation now is complete. And if I hover over the results here, everything in red is something that needs to be fixed. So we have 5 problems that we need to fix. Otherwise, the agency wouldn't even accept the submission. With the online link, that brings me directly to a list of results, and navigating here via the red lines, I could easily find out, for example, what problems I have to solve before I can do the next step, the productive publishing. If I go down here, it will tell me a real problem here, 5030. Application number in form does not match application number in the US regional XML. And the reason was that I just appended an empty form 356H that didn't include the application number. So I would have to go back to my submission, correct the problem, and then do a test publish again. Let's assume we have resolved all issues within our submission and are ready for a productive submission. It's the same steps that we just went through. We open the submission, except this time we take a productive publish as our option. As you can see, we have other options besides the eCTD output. We can create NeeS submissions and submit to dossier and paper. The system has remembered all of my test publishing envelope information, so I don't have to answer that all again. Just click on Publish again. And now this time what's happening is that it is doing a productive publish. So we can watch the actions in the background. And the difference between a test publish and a productive publish is simply the fact that it's not stamping a draft watermark on any of the PDF files this time. It is locking this first US sequence 0001, so it cannot be changed anymore because it's now final and it will be submitted to the agency. When publishing has finished, you will see the submission in the productive or final submissions folder. So, sorting this here by date, so we see it in the first line. Additionally, you will see, if I go back to my submissions, that the system automatically created a new sequence for us with the number 0002, and this will allow me to be ready for the next submission sequence. If I open that new sequence, you will see that I get the same tree view, and it will even show me the documents from previous sequences listed with this little gray arrow icon. Now, one of the things I'd like to show you is how we can actually automatically detect new versions of these documents. So let's, for the sake of this demo, go into our regulatory document management system, and we'll find a document that we then can version up using our RDMS capabilities. And I will pick a document in module 2 here, and this will be the 263 pharmacology tabulated summary. And what I'm doing here is I will reset it to draft, simulating a revision cycling here. And you can see it's now went to the version 1.1 and the status is draft. When I'm doing a submission, I can only use publish documents. So let's pretend I've updated the document, for example, via uploading a new version of the file. So I'm ready to publish it to a new version. And it will automatically render to a new PDF, and you will see momentarily that it goes into version 2.0 now. So if you go back to my submissions and open up that submission sequence number 2 of my demo product, you'll see as soon as it opens that the 263 document that we have is still in version 1 that we originally have used. So 263 pharmacology tabulated summary is still in version 1. If I use my tree tools and I select update document versions, what Vera is now doing is looking for new versions of documents I've used before and replacing them. And now we go back to the 263 document, and you see that the icon has changed now. This icon means that it is a replace operation from a lifecycle perspective, and you can see that it's version 2.0 now of the document. This is another VERA speed enabler here that allows you to quickly find documents that have been versioned up and need to be replaced in the subsequent submission sequence. There is also the ability to view your submissions in different ways. A delta view that allows you to compare two sequence numbers and see what's changed between them. The sequence view shows you each sequence end to end. Cumulative view would show you obviously everything across all sequences into a single tree view. And the hide and unhide folders allows you to perhaps hide folders that you won't be using in this particular type of submission. But we'll go back here and we'll save this so we can again see what we have created, our sequence 0002. And I'll go back to my submissions and I'll show you how I can take this submission that was created for the US as a starting point and create and reuse all of this work for another region. So if I use the option copy submission and I call the copied submission, for example, Canada demo product 333444, selecting the same related product as before, and for the region I would use Canada here to select the correct eCTD template, and I would as well set a new due date for the submission. Let's say it's on the 25th of April, and I would hit create to create this copy of the US submission. What this allows us to do is take the cumulative history of the submission work you have done for one region and repurpose it for another new region. So here you can see we have our draft Canadian eCTD submission. If I open this up, you will see all of the documents that were used in the other submission, despite the module 1, because that's new, that's not identical for a copied submission, but you would see all the documents attached that we had in the US submission in their latest version. So we see here the 2,3-S drug substance in version 1, and we have the 263 pharmacology tabulated summary in version 2. And all I need to do here is, after copying this, save my work off, and these documents will now be available in the lifecycle as new documents in the Canadian submission. I hope this has shown you how fast and easy it is to use PhlexSubmission in creating an eCTD submission. In this demonstration, I've done incremental publishing. I've used our autocompile capability. I've used our VERA capabilities to find new versions of documents and to copy one submission to another from a different region. All regions are available from Flex Global in terms of submission types. You can create eCTD, CTD, and NeeS submissions, and even your own custom submission configurations. Because we are delivered in a private SaaS environment as software as a service. All you need is the internet and a web browser. No add-on technology or software applications on your computer is needed, and you can use our solution from any computer in the world. And you can use it in an unlimited fashion. There is no limit to the number of times you can test, publish, or even productively publish a final submission. And as I said earlier, we are built and ready for eCTD version 4. And the system also comes with our 100% guarantee that your first eCTD submission will be compliant with the specifications. Finally, PhlexSubmission is part of a larger platform that is easily tailored to meet your needs. So if you want to add RIM capabilities or IDMP management capabilities, that all is just a flip of a switch and it's there for you. I hope you found this useful, and please feel free to contact us at info@flexglobal.com.